Hello, hello. My name is Eric, and I want to show you why Seed might be a good fit for your community. So first, I want to show you what is effectively my community, which is our Seed team talks. This is our internal. That's just the sort of older domain name, but it's our development site. So this is where our team works on Seed Hypermedia. And so, of course, it's available on the web. But let's show you what it's like inside of the actual application, which is a desktop application. And it has all sorts of features. It's a local first application, which basically means you can go offline and you can still edit content. And it's also peer to peer, which we'll get into. Um, it acts as a browser, it acts as an editor, it acts as a server, and because it's peer to peer, and also it allows you to archive content. It's all backed with IPFS, so all of the content in here can be permanently archived by your community. And yeah, like I said, I can go offline, and my just to demonstrate that it's peer to peer. These are like my 11 peers. Like I don't know who these people are, but I'm connected to a few people right now. But I want to show you what it's like sort of from the new user experience a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and please ignore my testing content. I'm going to create a new account. And we're going to have a name, which is like all things decentralized. And I'm going to skip adding the logo, but really like it feels so much better when you add an icon. Okay, so this is why this is a totally temporary site that I'm creating now. We're gonna have to recreate it all when we do it for real. But these are my 12 words. So these are my identity recovery words. So basically, I should be backing these up, and I can use this to set up my account on a different computer. And yeah, so this is a little bit tricky for users to understand. So we actually save it here in your operating system password manager, just because we found that people don't tend to actually write this down. But if you want, you can actually delete it. So it's safely encrypted right now, but you know, in this case, it doesn't matter because it's part of this video. So anyways, I'm going to click next. I'm going to click done. Nobody reads this stuff. The blank template is going to be the default in the next release or something soon. And so here I am editing my homepage. And so we have a full text editor. So hello world, we love open source. So, we've got formatting menu. We've got the ability to provide links. So for example, if I link to our GitHub, I can come over here and I can just select this and hit paste. And so now I'm linking to the web. And yeah, so we're very inspired by Notion's editor. We try to make it really, really easy to come in and start creating content. And you can see it says type / for commands. So we've got a lot of stuff in here, like math and files and videos. And you can just drag files directly into here. Videos aren't working too great, so you probably want to just paste a YouTube link, and then we have a YouTube embed. So we've got tons and tons of cool embedded features that are inside of our editor. And I'll be showing you a few more of those a little bit later. But for now, I'll just go ahead and click publish. And here it's basically asking me to set up emails, which I'm going to skip over for now. But you can see it says that it's published to the default gateway. So this is the server that we're running for free where all the content is available. So if I double click here, what it's done is it's actually opened my web browser, and it shows, hey, you've put this thing on the web, and it's like hosted on a different site. So that's why you've got this message up here. But yeah, boom, immediately we've put stuff on the web, which I think is really freaking cool. And also you can open it in the app. You can press this button and, oh yeah, of course you want to allow this to happen. And boom, it opens this up. Okay, so let's get into some more interesting features like the ability to create children documents. So you can basically create a big knowledge base for your community here. And I want to have a section of my site called Peer Discovery Techniques. This is a big sort of techniques. This is a big problem in peer-to-peer content, so I want to have a section where we talk about this. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this. I'll show off a really cool feature of our editor in a second, but before I can do that, I'll just publish this, and here it's telling me what my destination URL will be. I can have like a pretty URL path here. So I'll click publish, and I'll create a children document for each of the discovery techniques that I want. So here I'm going to create a document for gossip discovery, and you're going to have to forgive like my copy pasted ChatGPT content for now. So basically, it's copy pasting things. What the heck has gone on with that bullet point? Great. So I'll go ahead and publish this document. It's asking me where I'd like to put it in case I'd like to move it to a different location. No, but this is good. We're putting things in the right place. And so I'm going to create another document for structured overlays, which I think is like the technical term. I'm still learning all this stuff. So like ChatGPT has been teaching me. But we think about sort of decentralized systems and peer-to-peer systems all the time on this team. So I'm going to go ahead and click publish here again. So now we've created two documents under peer discovery techniques, and we can access them here. But I actually want to create what's known as a query block. So here, basically, we're saying that we're going to be querying for content of some document. And we're saying we're going to be querying for the children documents of this document, which is the default. It's kind of natural. So, and maybe for the sake of just showing you, I'm going to render it as a list. Okay, so now we've created some content and we've organized it. And now it's all available on the web. Oh, I double click it. Okay, so this has been fun. All right, what's next? I have so much to show you and I don't want to waste your time. So we've got links, we've got different block types, we've got child docs with hierarchies. Let's show you that you can do deep linking. So say there's a quote inside of here, which I find really interesting. So say like large scale, and you're like wondering like, okay, how large scale? Well, so I'm going to go ahead and, oh gosh, like I said, there are still some bugs. There's just a few bugs, and that's what happens when you build sophisticated systems. So say I'm over here and I want to go into the comments. I'll say, how large scale? And I'll hit paste, and it gives me an option. Because this is native Hypermedia content, it's like done through the protocol. I can click embed, we ignore the bug, I publish, and now you can see I've linked directly to a very specific section. It should actually be opening the it should be opening this document and highlighting it for me when I click that. So I might show you that a different way. But basically, this is like a super powerful thing because you can link to a specific piece of text, and it's actually versioned. It's snapshotted in time because every time you make a change, all the changes are actually being saved with IPFS. So, say, like for example, what I'll do is I will edit this document, but I'm not. I've changed my user profile to Eric, but Eric doesn't have the ability to edit this document. So what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll invite Eric to this document, so I can show you what it's like to actually have collaboration and multiple people working together on the same document. So if I find my new site, All Things Decentralized, this is the one who has permission because it's all thing. This is the identity of the site. So I can go ahead and invite Eric. Okay, I'm going to invite myself to basically write to this document. So now on my other identity, I'm going to have the edit button, and I can say like, wow, this is scalable. Is this scalable? Okay, you're gonna have to forgive my content, and we've got gloss over a few bugs, but basically like I should be able to click on it and it'll take me exactly to the document. It's not working right now because we're we're still actively developing this and things are changing all the time. But I'm still really excited about where we're going. And you can see basically I've taken some piece of content that's inside of a different document and I brought it inside of this document. So let's do that again. Let's do that even better. So I will say like, interesting use cases here. So I'll copy this block, and then I'll go back to peer discovery techniques. And instead of this broken thing, I'm going to paste this broken thing. This is actually something we've fixed, but we haven't released the new version yet. Okay, so now I'm able to embed content from a different location. And if I click on that content, it takes me directly to it. And this is content that's on the same site. So this is allowing me to build like a cohesive knowledge base. But I can also reference content on different sites. And I think I'll probably show you that a little bit more clearly later. And yeah, we can have linking directly to, say, like, say we're having a discussion about gossip-based peer discovery inside of the discussion section of peer techniques, and I'll say, does do what about ad hoc? Okay, I'm not thinking much about the content here, so I will basically be able to paste a link. I see. I don't have the link correctly in my clipboard, so I will click over here. Try again. So I can copy this block range. And then over in my comment, I can embed just this block range. And so I can click through it, and basically, I think I've demonstrated the same bug enough times, but by now. But basically, we have very deep, fine-grained linking, and also everything is versioned. So you can see I've edited this document with multiple identities, right? So if I come here to updates, I can see the version history of this document, and I can see, okay, what has Eric done to this document? Like I click over here. Oh, okay. Eric has totally sabotaged it. And you can also see like who are the people who are allowed to edit this document. And Eric is now able to edit all of the children documents as well. So that's how the collaborators work. It kind of gives people recursive access to one section of the site. And if you want to let people edit the entire site, you would come in here. You need to be the correct identity so that you're actually allowed to do it. But then you can invite other people, and they will have access to edit the entire site. So here I am, my own identity, and I'm on my own page, and you can see we're encouraging you to publish to the web. So this is really awesome. So even though you're already on the web, you don't have your own domain, and also these URLs are really ugly. Like, what is even going on here? This is terrible. So let's fix that. Let's go ahead and publish our new site to the web. And so basically we support self-hosting, and we try to make self-hosting really easy. But a little bit easier than self-hosting is using the servers that we're already running for you. And here you can see we're kind of warning you that eventually we're going to start charging. But for now, everything's free. Like, this is just kind of here to make sure that people know that they can't abuse our system without eventually getting charged. So I'm going to put in my email address, because when you have your own site, we're going to sort of need to be able to contact you sometimes. And so basically it's having me log in. It sent me an email verification link. No big deal. I'm going to come to my email, and hopefully it will have a link. Okay, so yeah, like this is just normal Web 2 stuff. You come here, and this is all just sort of to keep things convenient for people. And now basically it's going to say that you've been logged in, and now I can register my own subdomain. So all things decentralized, and I'm going to publish my site. And by the way, we're going to encourage you to have your own domain name, because if you have your own domain name, actually, you won't need to trust our server at all. But right now, as you can see, like we've published this thing to the web. If I open this up or copy the link and then go to the web browser, we've got you published on a beautiful new domain name. So you can send this to your friends and everything, but we really want you to have your own domain name. So that's what we're doing, is we're pushing you towards having your own domain name. And I'm going to skip over the setup for this because it requires an extra 5 minutes, and we need to move on. But this, I think, is so exciting. Because all the content is signed and it's archived in a distributed fashion. And once you own your own domain name, you actually don't need to trust the server at all. So if something bad happens to our server, we start running software that you don't like, you can just switch to self-hosting, or you can switch to a different provider or something like that, and republish the content that's been archived from your computer. And so this is really awesome. So by the way, now when we copy like the link to any content on your site, let's go into peer discovery techniques, blah, 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 and we'll copy the link. We're sending people to your beautiful new domain name or even your custom domain name. Like this does not have to be on hyper.media. I'm trying to emphasize that really heavily. Like even though we provide the convenience of Web 2, this is not a centralized system at all. Our server can be entirely swapped out. And in fact, inside of the settings, the user can use a different gateway altogether. But we haven't, we're barely scratching the surface of the amazing stuff that Seed enables. And I am really excited about the ability for sites to communicate with each other. So let me go ahead and try something. I'm going to do something a little bit experimental. So for one thing, is you've seen that identities are portable across the web, across different Seed hypermedia sites, like through the Hypermedia protocol, which is like a protocol that we're still developing, so we haven't documented it. And right now, you're really just going to have to use our software, and you have to trust me, bro, that this is going to be like a proper protocol, and we're going to document it. But we're still iterating on it so fast that it doesn't really make sense to document something that is still changing quite a bit. It's not changing in a few key ways, but we'll talk about that some other time. So you've seen we've got collaborators. If I click on Eric, this actually takes me to the contact information for Eric, which is kind of like these are the people who Eric trusts, who Eric follows, and these are the people who have followed Eric. And what's cool about this is that this kind of enables a trust system that is not dependent on any server. So it's kind of like Twitter follows, but you don't need to trust Elon Musk. You can just go ahead and start trusting each other and form your own network of trust. And that is going to be really helpful later on when we try to scale the network and you actually only want to interact with a subset of people in the world, because there's going to be a lot of spammers, and you need to have a robust system of trust to sort of fight spam on the network. So let's go back to our homepage. And so let's go ahead and just, for now, like I'll try having a link to myself. I know this example is getting pretty convoluted. So who is this? And I'm just going to put a link to my site. So ev.hyper.media. Like, so this is my web domain. And I'm going to paste, who is Eric? Because people are going to be wondering. So I'm going to publish this. And now you can see, oh, okay, we're linking to Eric's homepage, blah, 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 inside of the app. But we've actually published it to more than one server, potentially. It goes and sends it to every server who's being referenced. So on Eric's website, like his normal web site, ev.hyper.media, if we go to the feed true, sorry for this weird URL, we're going to see, look, we've just made a backlink. So this is so cool. We've just made a reference from one site to another site just by referencing it. And this is also something that we're going to have to deal with when it comes to spam. Like, this is not maybe something that Eric wants showing up on his feed. And maybe Eric will have to sort of add, have some trust information with this other site. But in this case, it's pretty clear that Eric is interested, because Eric has gone and explicitly edited this document. He's already an author here. So in this case, this is not going to be spam. So yeah, and then if we click on peer discovery techniques, in this case, it shows it on the same domain, but it's going to be sending it to the other domain real soon. So that's one way that you can have sort of identity. You can have identity going across sites, and you can have backlinks across sites. And so this is going to enable like a really deep network of knowledge on the open web, which I think is just so cool. I'm so excited about this, in case you can't tell. So what else? We might have a situation where you want to edit some content that you don't actually, you haven't been invited to edit. And so how could that work? Like on GitHub, there's a fork button when there's a repository that you want to edit, but you don't have permission to edit that other repository. And Seed works the same way. So let's keep in mind who our identity is. We're signed in as all things decentralized. And I'm going to go ahead and open our search. I'm going to paste this web URL into our search. But because this web URL is like actually Hypermedia protocol ready, it goes and opens the actual content directly. And so, yeah, like, okay, well, I can subscribe to this site, but like, I want to edit this. Where's my edit button? So I can come over here and I can click create document branch. And I can say, I want to put this under all things decentralized, like cool paper. Like I'll just call hypermedia paper. And so now here I am as a complete stranger, because this all things decentralized is not really a known entity in the world yet. You know, we just created the account a minute ago. And here I am, I'm able to edit somebody else's document, and I can say we can question some of this stuff. Like like maybe I'm not confident that we can offer the same interactivity as social media, or I can say maybe I'm such a believer. Same interactivity as social media or better. Okay, so now I've gone and edited somebody else's document, and note that I'm pushing it to multiple sites. So, for example, Gabo has this document, or he was one of the authors here. So we're basically pushing our content out to the relevant servers who need it, and also that content will be distributed over the Hypermedia network, like the peer-to-peer network, through our 12 peers. If they subscribe to this content, they're going to get it. And so here you can see now I've been added to the list of authors, but I haven't taken any credit away from the original authors. If I check the activity, or if anybody checks the activity, all of these things are saved in IPFS. So basically people will be able to see, oh, looks like yet another bug. This is the place at which we had branched the document. And here you can at least see that the authors are not me. It's not this guy, but Gabo is the one who authored this. So that has been a pretty brief, rapid fire example of what you can do with Seed. You'll notice that we have commenting. Discussions are like the core part of our platform. It's really essential to have commenting, and it's so essential that this is the first feature that we brought to the web. So, like we don't have document editing on the web yet, but we do have commenting. So here I am on a new site, and I'm a stranger because I've never been on this site before. Say, wow, this tech is really cool. Or maybe these ideas. Okay. So here, when I start to comment, basically it says, oh, you don't have an identity here. So I'm going to go ahead and create an identity. And what it's doing and what it's explaining is that the private key is going to be saved only in this browser. So that's the one thing that Seed Hypermedia will never do, is we're never going to have your keys on the server, even in a web context. So basically, once I create this and then go ahead and click publish, no thanks to the pop-ups, nobody can impersonate this epic staple, who is just a randomly generated name, because sometimes people are too lazy to input their own names. But basically, this is now going to, of course, sync back to the website, or sorry, sync back to the desktop application. Come down here, we open it in the app. Always open Seed. we're getting comments flowing through. And yeah, so this has just been a kind of rapid fire um, experience of what it's like to use Seed. We've still got a few glitches. Like I had to refresh to see this thing. There's some embarrassing kinks that we're working out, but oh my god, like we are able to publish content on different sites and link between them deeply and reuse content between them. So I can take snippets of other people's content or whole documents and bring them over to my site without stealing attribution. All I'm doing is basically acknowledging their work and archiving it using my own infrastructure. And all the attribution is still baked in. So I'd love to hear what you think about this. It's really exciting when we have a few people who are like starting to use Seed totally organically. So like there's this site. We don't know who this is, but they're talking about how you can use technologies like Seed or Bitcoin to be prepared against the worst case scenarios that we might face in this world. And I think it's really really exciting and beautiful how people are discovering it and then they're publishing content um, that is like spiritually aligned with us, but we don't even know who they are. This is so cool. So thanks for paying attention to this for as long as this lasted. If you want to try this out for yourself and you want to download Seed Hypermedia, we have this URL called downloadseed.hyper.media. So yeah, this is just where you can download it for your desktop. And yeah, we are working to bring more features to web. And of course, we were going to fix all these bugs that we've seen today. Most of them are already on our radar. But yeah, what I will say before I end this is that I don't actually care if you use Seed Hypermedia. But I will say that you should use a tool that has values that are aligned with you and with your community. So if your community values decentralization, publishing to the open web, cross site communication, or independence from any company, then Seed Hypermedia might be something that you want to look into. So thanks for listening. I'll see you.